Really excited for this surprise video today. I stumbled across an agent's website a few weeks ago, followed them on social media, and now I'm here. We are doing a Zoom meeting, and I just checked the leaderboard about 30 seconds before we got on this call, and I'm really excited to present to you the number one agent right now on the leaderboards. But not just that, someone who is utilizing social media to advertise and grow their agency. But with further investigation, because I love cyber stalking, no, I'm just kidding. But I definitely do my homework on people. I watched another video that Dan has posted on his YouTube channel, which I will be sending you so everyone can watch it as well. I highly suggest it. I learned so much about how you run your agency, and I've never been more impressed with how an agent's mindset is, and it's so refreshing. And my goal is that my agents are going to take a ton of golden nuggets from this and incorporating some of the things that you do in your agency into their own. So, Dan, thank you so much for replying to my random Instagram message. And I'm super excited to have you on here so you can share your knowledge with my agents in Texas.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, Shelly. That was quite an intro. It's almost like I sent you what to write on there, what to say.
Well, I didn't mention that you have sold, what was that, 414 policies in a month your agency did?
Yeah, on the last folio. It's all about teamwork.
I saw that in the video, and I could have led with that. That would have gotten people's attention enough, I think. So I just wanted to, I initially wanted to ask you about everything social media. And then I watched another video that you did, and you were talking to a district office, and I was really impressed with your staffing model and your mindset of everything. So I was hoping that you'd be able to give us a rundown on how you staffed your agency, and specifically your recruiting efforts, and how you're finding your great candidates, what you look for that's a little different than most agents do. And, we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, yeah, sure. When it comes to recruiting, I think social media has helped, by just putting ourselves out there. People could see the culture of our agency, that we are all about, having fun too. And you could really portray a lot of your image of your agency through social media. So that's a great way to bring awareness. I think I talked a little bit in that meeting. I remember what I look for to answer your question is just great attitude and great activity, because it's pretty difficult to get lucky and find somebody with experience. I mean, that's always great if someone has experience, already has a license. But I think realistically, when you're looking out there and when you're trying to build a team, you have to go through a lot of people. So I'm not really looking for experience. I'm just looking for attitude, great attitude and activity. And from there, we could build on it. So a lot of people could be from different industries like food or retail. But that's okay. It's really a long-term investment. Looking for people who want to be in it for the long term too, want to make it a career, not just a short-term job. So those are the type of things I try to look for when I'm looking for people.
Okay. And so you have, I believe, 11 staff?
Mm-hmm.
And how many of those are producers? And, what are the other roles besides producers?
Yeah, sure. 8 of them are licensed. Eight or 9 are licensed. But yeah, they're all sales and customer service. Now, some of them do more sales than others, and some of them do more service than others. But we try to have a culture of everybody is here to service our clients. So we don't have anybody specifically only doing sales. But the ones that have been with me the longest, they're the ones doing most of this, mostly sales. So we kind of have a system where they kind of graduate to different levels. So in the beginning, it's really an entry-level position. It's almost like clerical or administrative. So they're taking care of paperwork or just doing a lot of helping with the staff. So it's just a support role. And then they move into customer service. Eventually, they're talking to clients, and once they learn how the customer service works, then they get licensed, and then they get into sales. And even once you get into sales, like someone who's been with me for 7 years, now they're doing life insurance, commercial insurance, more advanced things. So it's a process, but it takes some time. But that's how it all works. I tell them there's no shortcuts, and people who are willing to start from the bottom and work their way up. That's kind of like the culture we try to have here.
I love it. So, to be clear, they're not individually servicing the policies that they write. Everyone kind of services everything, or how do you have that structured?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's going to be some, depending on some clients, they prefer to talk to the agent that started their policy, and that's completely fine with us. But, depending on how busy they are, we do give them the expectation that, hey, we're all here to help you. And so we wouldn't try to transfer calls around, hey, someone, so we're all here to help our clients. But if a client wants to talk to a particular agent, and then that's okay too. So customer service is a huge part of our agency. So we want to make it as efficient as possible. And really what the client wants is what we do.
Awesome. So you have 11 staff members. Who trains all those people?
In the beginning, me. Yeah, in the beginning, me. So that's a big part of my job is really when I hire somebody new, I want them to get off to a good start with building good habits. So I'm really, the office is set up where obviously I have an office that's private where I could do interviews and things like that, but I'm literally never there. I'm only there probably 1% of the time. So 99% of the time, I'm out in the open with where the cubicles are, and I'm right in the middle, and whoever's that are the newest are the ones that are closest to me. So I'm very hands-on when it comes to, because, when you're brand new, especially in the insurance industry, there's going to be a lot of questions. So I just want to be there available and answering questions. So it's not an easy job. It takes a lot of patience. But that's what we got to do as an agency owner. And in the long term, it definitely does pay off because eventually they're going to know what they're doing. They have licensed. They've gotten licensed, and they could sell and service without much of my supervision. And that's really when the hard work kind of pays off down the line. So nothing that it's not easy in the beginning, but it's something definitely that I'm building towards the future so they could contribute without getting much help later.
Awesome. And so you've owned your agency for 12 years?
12 years, uh-huh.
12 years. Okay, cool. And so how long did it take you to build up that team? Or what would you suggest an agent that maybe is just starting out, how would you advise them to staff their agency based on what works for you?
Start slowly. Okay, so it didn't happen overnight, but definitely getting the habit of learning what works and what doesn't work. It's definitely a learned skill when it comes to recruiting and training. I think in the beginning it's good to look for people you like working with. First of all, you just want to be able to have a mindset of just helping them out. So in the beginning, you're kind of paying them and training them. So you're giving a lot, so you really want to care for this person. You really want to help them out. So with that mindset, I think it does help when you find somebody you like working with. Hey, I would enjoy going into work with this person. So, and obviously the attitude and activity thing, those are two key things that I think are non-negotiable. I think those two things are very important. So you can't have anybody with a negative attitude or lazy. But as long as they have a good attitude and have a good work ethic and you like them, then you could really start off slowly by having one person and really having them and not really expecting too much. It's going to take some time for them to get good, especially if they don't have any experience, which most of my people start off with. No experience at all. So starting off slowly, having patience, having them help you out with the simplest tasks, and just being like an assistant role and slowly but surely making sure they're improving so they could handle more tasks and take more responsibilities. It's a lot of patience there, a lot of patience.
So let's talk briefly about the overall marketing that you do in the agency. So I found you because I was looking up a specific type of social media marketer for an insurance agency, and I was blown away because it wasn't your standard telemarketer job posting, which I loved, and I thought it was super unique. So can you kind of explain a little bit more about why that piece of it is so important to you? And it's obviously working, right? Like I feel like you wouldn't invest time in training, right? Or paying for someone's salary if it doesn't bring you business.
Yeah.
So the social media piece is a big part of it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the new telemarketer is a digital marketer, I feel like, because nobody really wants to get called out of the blue, and it's just annoying, right? So social media marketing, I have 2 full-time people helping me out with that. But it's a fun job, you get to be creative, but the number one reason for it is just to bring awareness. If they don't really know who you are, they can't find you, then how could they buy anything from you? So by being consistently marketing or making content and people could see us, then it just brings awareness, and we just want to be where people are. It's so easy to be able to put up content and for free on Facebook and Instagram that people could see, and everybody's on their phones, so you can make a video, they could see it, and they'll know you. So that's step one. Step one is to just at least be known, because if nobody knows you and if you're hiding, no one's going to be able to buy insurance from you. And, you could also be where they are. There's just so much attention. So it's almost, I did it as I feel like in a few years, at least 5 or 10 years, it's just going to be a position where almost every insurance agent or every business will have somebody really helping the agent out with social media, because it's almost going to be not a nice thing to have, but a necessity to be able to grow your business.
No, I absolutely agree. So let's see. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go. So tell me who your target market is, just in general.
Really, anybody who has a car. We do specialize in certain languages, like I speak Japanese. Okay, so social media could help you target a certain language, which is great. Okay, we do also have a lot of Spanish speakers too. Okay, so there's certain languages we could target. We could even get more in depth, and I've tried certain markets, but currently our niche is more just auto insurance, so it's a little bit broad, but it's those 2 languages.
Great. And so social media, that piece of it, are you trying to target people that way for lead generation, or is it really just bringing brand awareness and specifically, of course, rate?
Both. It helps with absolutely both, generating leads and then also building brand awareness. It also helps with recruiting too. So almost any challenge you have as a business owner, a lot of times the answer is I will use social media, and it solves a lot of problems that agency may have challenged. So because getting leads is obviously a big problem, not a big problem, but it's a challenge. It's a really important one. Also building credibility, okay, so and trust with the audience is important. So you can get reviews on Facebook and Yelp and Google. So getting reviews is a big time thing that I think the world is going to when people check reviews. So it helps bring credibility there. And then building brand and also a culture also, and that does help with recruiting too. So in a lot of ways, it's helping.
I totally am on board with that, because if you look at your Instagram specifically, your agency's Instagram, you guys utilize your stories quite a bit, which I love. And I think right now is so important for businesses to do. But if you even just look at your feed, it's all highlighting your amazing team. And I think that that's so important. I think earlier I was looking at, I guess one of your staff members was about to have a baby, and you had a baby shower, and you had your marketer create a video of you guys celebrating the new addition to your farmer's family, right? So I think for recruiting specifically, 100%, it's definitely something that would interest me if I was looking in an area. So I'm curious to know if you just utilize Instagram, or if you guys do as much on Facebook as you do Instagram or maybe LinkedIn and YouTube and so
on? For recruiting specifically?
Or for sales.
For
Just
sales,
kind of
yeah, it just depends on the target audience. Okay, so for recruiting, Instagram is better for our agency situation. That's going to depend who you're targeting, and then but for lead generation, Facebook is better. So it kind of depends on who your target audience is and where they are. But I think there's not that much difference besides certain people. I think maybe age group. Okay, there's certain differences on who's where, but I just for what works for my particular situation is looking for clients on Facebook, but looking for staff members on Instagram. But that's going to depend on each agency owner's goals, what they want, who they want to target. So knowing where your customers are, I think, is a key, key thing to know. So where they are, and the stories is a great one too. There's a lot of attention there. Everybody's spending a lot of time there, maybe more than the feed. So you definitely want to be present there. But yeah, a lot of things, a lot of places to be at. I think, to be honest with you, LinkedIn is also a great opportunity when it comes to like commercial policies too, but we haven't been involved there. So as much as we're doing right now, and I really appreciate the praise, Shelly, I think there's just so much more work to be done when it comes to building awareness online.
Definitely. Okay. Well, I know I have some agents that are utilizing Facebook and Instagram to target commercial customers, and they're having great success doing it. Utilizing stories, just like you said, people look at them. People look at that sometimes more than what's on your feed.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's really interesting. Okay, so we talked about social media. I know that can't be all that we're doing. So I know that you mentioned in a video that I hope everybody will also watch on your YouTube page. You spoke about buying leads and doing a lot of email marketing versus cold calling. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the leads is a great opportunity to get some people that are interested in insurance. But yeah, the old way was to really bombard them with phone calls, right? But I feel like that hasn't been as efficient, and it's just coming off as a little desperate. Or I'm just not a big fan of just calling people nowadays. I think the better plan is to really just send out a lot of emails. People are a lot better with emails when it comes to reading them, and then even text messages. We've been testing that out too. Obviously, they have an option to opt out, but letting them know that, hey, please call us. So my main goal as agency owners is try to get the phone ringing for my agents. So email and text is a great way. Text, you got to be really careful. You can't be too aggressive. But email, a lot of people don't mind that. So there's a lot of we use MailChimp, but just automated emails. So once you put it in, they get emails. They buy a policy. They get taken off the list. They go to another list. So email marketing is a very powerful tool too. That could be systemized too, which is important. And obviously, the agents are following up by email too. So, but we're a big agency and a big believer of sending out a lot of emails.
So, about how many emails or reaches do you require, if any, for your team to do daily for the production that you guys are doing?
I'm not really calculating it that. I'm not checking in on them that much. I think I let them kind of decide which lead is a little bit more worth their time to follow up on. Depending on the lead and the premium. Honestly, there's going to be certain leads that we want to follow up a little bit more closely. So I give them a little bit of space and leniency there as to what they decide is right. Also depends on the agency situation too. If we're really heavy on customer service one day, they may have to get caught up on doing their follow-ups the next day. But it really doesn't take that much time to send an email follow-up. So I can't really probably answer that question really well, but we do 32 quotes a day. That's a new stat that I learned at the last district meeting I went to. So
you learned it from them?
Yeah, no, because they had the stats, and quoting enough is a big deal, which should be. So I was pretty proud of my numbers there, but just generating enough activity for them is really the key. So a lot of times I think a lot of agents will say, hey, you got to have this many sales or make this many calls or this many follow-ups and have quotas on them. my philosophy is, okay, it's actually my responsibility to make sure they're in a position to succeed. Because how could they sell or do follow-ups or be even motivated if they don't have the opportunity? So my job is to give them the opportunity, and your job is to make the best out of it. So whenever we're not doing well, I like to say it's my responsibility because I'm not helping them enough, and I didn't train them well enough. So having accountability there as the agency owner is really important, whereas I think a lot of people look at their staff as they better do this or they better do that, but it's actually really a team effort when it comes to growing together as an agency.
So holding them accountable that way means that you're very involved, which means that you're probably at the office more than your staff are. Is that right?
Yeah, well, definitely. I get here around 8:30. Our office starts at 8, so I don't open, but I do get here around 8:30. And then we have certain shifts, so one's at 8 to 5, another one's 9 to 6, and there's a 10 to 7. So I'm actually past 7 p.m., so I'm definitely involved. I'm always there to be able to help them and definitely engage because, as an agency owner, who else is supposed to work as hard as you? It's your name it's your business, so I think it totally makes sense, and I think it's unrealistic or not fair to your staff when you expect them to work that hard when you're not.
Do you think that affects the culture in your agency? Is them being able to see you every day, or at least knowing that you're there observing to keep them accountable?
I would think so. I would think, if I just look at it as, if I were them, a lot of times that helps in a lot of different scenarios when having empathy of how they feel. But, if I was working at a place and the agency owner is never really there, that shows that he doesn't care as much about growing the business or, learning about new things or training them. So naturally, I feel that's going to trickle down to how they feel, how motivated they are. So how serious you are about growing your business, I think it does affect everybody, and we'll have meetings, regularly, try to motivate each other, watch motivational videos. So I think that's one of the major jobs of agency owners, to influence them in a positive way, and you can't really do that if you're not there.
So I'd love to hear more about your staff meetings because I know about them because you guys post about them, which is really cool. And I love that you do, everyone reads something that's inspirational, and I feel like that really helps everyone's mindset in the agency. So besides that, do you guys go over goals or numbers, or what does your staff meeting kind of look like? And how often do you do it? Is it like 30 minutes, an hour? What's typical for you?
The big one is once a month. So that's when we give out awards. Really our numbers are transparent. Every day I'll send out emails knowing where their stats are. So we have a leaderboard within the agency. And then weekly meetings, we'll have a book review. Right now we're working on a sales book. So we're trying to get our mindset right and, really getting deep into how sales works because, it's a skill game. And the more you're investing our time in learning, the better. And then every once we will watch some movies, not all at one time, but we watch some movies together. Some inspirational ones. And there's so much content online, about positivity and self-improvement. Even some health ones, too. Every once in a while, we'll watch, too. So on my free time, I'm just going through videos on YouTube and trying to figure out what could bring value to their lives, not just in work, but outside of work, too. So we'll try to watch a video once a week, do a book review once a week. And then there's going to be some... I would like to do more. Almost like a daily thing, but a lot of my messages are also getting communicated through them through emails, so the daily emails. So I call it the stats, but we write down who sold what the day before, and then I'll have some motivational quotes, make sure their mindset is right, and then just being available also helps, just being able to talk to them individually if necessary too. So definitely. Communication is the key, and it's going to be something where consistency is the key, too, of doing that.
Okay, so one last thing about staffing. How do you keep them motivated?
Well, I think everything we do, that's part of it, I think. Another one is just, I just keep on repeating the same thing, It's just about working hard, being nice, and for our family's future. So that's kind of been our motto. And the compensation plan helps too. You want to make sure your agents are on, especially for the ones that are really involved in sales, they're in compensation plans that rewards them for premium. Okay, not policy count or different ways other people do it, but off premium, and then also having, a compensation plan that just rewards performance. So even as a CSR, how many payments you took or how many calls you made. So we track everything. I think that helps too. Nobody wants to be in the bottom of the list. So I think measuring the results, recognition, depends on each person, but money also is a big factor, I think, when it comes to motivation.
So how did you, if you did, restructure your agency as far as focusing on that premium growth versus individual lines of business and growing those policies?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I looked at the rules. Okay, so the AGM was a challenge that we finally figured out, and but that did go away. So when it comes to premium growth, I went with the strategy of, okay, let's just do what we do really well and just go all in on that. So the AGM it was great because it made us focus on some of our weaknesses. I think every agency has a specific niche or line of business that they're really good at. And then, some of the foremost or, trying to run a small vendors to get the cross-sell points. Those are a lot of the things that we had to do. More life insurance, more commercial, which is great. I do recommend, having a well-balanced book. But when it comes to premium growth, I think it does help to really narrow in on a specific line of business that you're really strong at. So my philosophy has been, okay, more marketing there. Okay, just spending more money on marketing and then more staff. And I think the premium growth, it's actually more simplified now. So it's just doing what you do well, and more of it is really how I've attacked the premium growth side to the PGB. To be honest with you, I am having a little bit of, we are growing premium. I thought that was going to be the hard part, but now the UQI part, I kind of don't have my eyes there as closely as I should now. So now that's been a challenge now. So I'm growing premium, so now the UQI, so that's going to be another, okay, same thing. When is there a UQI issue? Okay, it's just about staff. I'm going to have one person assigned to help our agents make sure we have the documents in, and making sure everything, keeping an eye on the UQI too. So a lot of the challenges could be, solved by staff, but I think the key is just being willing to spend more money on both staff and marketing, because when it comes to premium growth, we really can't expect to do the same thing and get the same results.
That's for sure. Definitely. Okay, so what would you say to an agent that, like yourself, has been with a company for over 10 years, maybe even 30 years, who is trying to adapt to the PGB, and maybe they don't have staff or they have a few staff? What would you say to them, to get them kind of in your mindset? Because obviously what you guys are doing is working. There's always room for improvement, but for that more seasoned agent, is there any advice that you would give them?
I think the first thing is to probably have the right mindset. It starts there. So I will start off with, okay, let's just make sure we have gratitude about the situation. Because when you're a seasoned agent, I'm pretty sure you're used to the changes by now, but I think certain agents may still struggle with the changes. So, and I felt that for a little bit too. When the AGM went away, it's like, oh, I finally figured that out, and then now I'm at risk of not making the PGB. Changes, but I think adapting to it as quickly as possible, not complaining about it, and saying, hey, the company is going to actually compensate us more heavily, actually, for doing what we should be doing anyways. We should all be trying to make more money than we did last year. So having the right mindset, okay, this is a great opportunity. We're so thankful for the company for providing this opportunity to us. And then just adapting to the times a little bit, I think some of the old marketing systems may not be working anymore. Times have changed. Everybody's on their phones. So as easy it is for me to say, I think it is time to start slow, but try, social media, or try a different staff member, recruit for a different staff member, and just slowly but surely get headed up towards the right direction where you're growing premium, because it's not really the best skilled or the best, hardest working. I think it's the most adaptive one that wins. So accepting the reality of the world where it is right now, not trying to fight it, and just making the best out of the great opportunity we have. I really think that positive mindset is really where it starts.
Absolutely. And so I guess kind of the same question, but more for an agent that's just starting, because, in our district, we are bringing on new agents like crazy right now, which is really, really exciting. And most of them actually all of them so far, have a background in insurance with maybe another company.
Oh, great.
So what advice would you give them?
Yeah, similar one. It's a great opportunity. I would say getting off to a good start is great. I think when it comes to a new agent, I think looking at it as, okay, I'm not just an insurance agent, but more of a business owner. And I think that's a better mindset of, okay, instead of how can I get a sale, more about how can I build a business. So I know in the beginning, a lot of times you may be thinking a little short term. I got to get a sale for the next folio. I got to get a sale for the next folio. And when you hire staff, it's not going to help your next folio. It's going to help your next year's folio. So having a long-term outlook, being extremely patient, and be willing to invest, because we're really in it for the long term. So don't really think about the next folio, because we're in it for the long term. The renewals is really what helps out. The rate increase is what really helps out the renewals. So even though it doesn't seem like you're doing great right now, just have faith that not everyone's going to cancel. Just have faith that you're building something. So having a long-term outlook and having patience, I think, is what I would say to the younger agents.
Wonderful. Well, that's kind of all that I have. I really wanted to focus on social media, but I know that there are so many other things that make up your agency and the reason that you're so successful. So, we talked about buying leads and we talked about social media marketing. Was there anything else that you would advise someone to maybe look into that you're doing?
No, I mean, it's pretty simple, right? It's just marketing and staff. I think those are the two keys that really have helped me. Other than that, I would just say having the right mindset, okay, and then just feeding yourself with the right content. Even though we try to put out a lot of content, we also see what else is out there. So just, surround yourself with positive people. They all say that, and that's so important. So that's why we want a team full of positive people, but also making sure what you're feeding yourself. So, making sure you're hanging out with the right agents. If you're hanging out with other agents too, that you're hanging out with positive people. And then when you go online or when you look up YouTube videos, that you're bringing in positive content. And there's so much information on there. I think a lot of it is just how much you're willing to sacrifice and learn about, because I didn't know anything about social media too, and I still don't. But I am spending a lot of time on, what to do. What to do there. So there's a lot of content online. It takes a lot of studying, maybe some sacrifices, a lot of hard work, but it definitely pays off.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. You have no idea. I appreciate your time more than anything and this opportunity to talk to you. Would you mind shouting out where people can find you on Instagram and Facebook, and definitely your YouTube channel that you're building it?
Oh, yeah, sure. Thank you, Shelly, for giving me a chance to do this. Yeah, I almost forgot. But yeah, just Dan Kitajima on everything. Okay, mostly Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. The agency is Kitajima Insurance. So yeah, if you could just look there. I also do have a little consulting business too that I'm trying to do a little bit more of. So this may help well with that too. But yeah, I'm all about, and hopefully this video will help, because I really am a big believer in what I do, but also I do like the helping other agents part of it too.
Well, I hope that we can do a part 2.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Texas?
No, I haven't, but I hear the opportunity is great there. I mean, I see the leaderboard, and there's a lot of Texas agents there too. So Sometimes I get jealous of the state taxes, and I've even yeah, I do have some interest in Texas, how everything is set up there. So I'm a big fan of your state, definitely.
Well, maybe we can make something happen. Maybe you need to visit Dallas.
Yeah, sure. Or if you guys are ever in the area, we're by Disneyland. So if you guys are ever in the area,
Oh, awesome!
yeah,
I love it.
stop by.
How convenient. All right, Dan. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Shelly. We'll keep in touch.
you.
Thanks. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching my videos. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. And then stay tuned for more future videos to help you grow your insurance agency. And also comment below and let me know what you think. Until next time, thank you.